Good afternoon. I'd like to thank everyone for coming out tonight. At this time, I would like to call the February 11th, 2020 Planning Board meeting to order. May I ask everyone to stand with us for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do any members have any conflicts of interest with respect to any of the items on the agenda tonight? Hearing none. Madam Secretary, I believe we have a quorum with 6 people. Are there any changes to the agenda? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion for approval of the agenda as presented.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Agenda is approved. Are there any changes to the January 14th, 2020 meeting minutes? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion for approval of the minutes as presented.
Motion.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. Are there any items of old business? I believe we have. All right, new business. We have PB 2001, McDonald's Corporation request for a text amendment to the Unified Development Ordinance, Chapter 5, Development Standards, and Chapter 10, Definitions, to allow the installation of fully electronic menu boards, signs associated with the drive-through lanes. Mr. Little.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a little bit of background. So the current ordinance only allows 50% of a sign's total square footage to be electronically controlled. And what this amendment proposes is to actually allow 100% of the sign to be electronically controlled. And these, it's important to keep in mind, would only be associated with drive-through lanes. So they're those menu boards that you see when you're pulling through. Wouldn't be any other signage on the property except in the drive-through lane itself. And staff has suggested some modifications to the applicant's proposal. There was some specific language in there that we felt might cause a problem with other businesses of this type if they had a sign that needed to be slightly larger than the suggested 42 feet or 6 feet tall. So we ended up with a shorter list of requirements for these menu board signs, and I can go over those now. So it says menu boards shall comply with the following standards. Up to 100% of the menu board signs area can be electronically controlled. Number 2, menu board signs shall be associated with an approved drive-through lane. Number 3, menu board signs shall not be used for additional advertisement to off-site views and shall be for the sole purpose of conveying menu information to patrons in a drive-through lane. And then there's actually a fourth. We have added this since the packets went out. After speaking with Mr. Haywood, we decided to go ahead and put some limitation on the size. So what staff is suggesting is 60 square feet as a maximum area for each individual sign with a maximum height of 8 feet. There's also a new definition that would be added to Chapter 10 of the ordinance. and that would be for message board signs, and that reads, a message board sign, reader board, or electronically controlled message sign, providing a means of altering outgoing oh, sorry, I'm reading the wrong one. That's the old definition that still would be in the ordinance for a regular message board sign. The new one is actually for a menu board sign, and it reads, a freestanding sign or wall sign that lists the foods or other products available at facilities with approved drive-through lanes. So that's a pretty simple, straightforward definition that would be added to clarify between the two different types. The existing message board signs that are still allowed only 50% to be electronically controlled, and the new menu board signs that are allowed to be 100%. So that's pretty much the gist of it, and staff does recommend approval of this. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have.
All right. Thank you. Are there any questions for staff? Jason? I guess the only question I have is, what exactly do you need included into a motion? Which part of this
Menu board?
do you actually?
You could
need to
just
make sure
say
we get
something
correct?
like that you are recommending approval of
Chapter 10.
the text, yeah, everything with staff modifications, as
Everything?
submitted with staff modifications.
Okay.
And then,
Chapter 5 and Chapter 10.
yes, that you'll have to make the consistency statement. It's also in the staff report if you. And while you're looking through that, there's a picture of what you might typically see up here. And you'll notice there's the smaller ones on the way to the ordering point that could be referred to as a pre-browser board, and then the actual menu board at the ordering point.
Is that the one that says Intel?
Yeah, it looks like there's some advertisement on there. Is this typically? Well, I'll wait until he comes up. But I was going to ask him if this is typical to the layout of what they normally see. If you want to have him come up and speak, or if you have any questions for the applicant.
Nobody else has any questions for you, but you're not going
Well,
anywhere.
I actually
so.
do have a question
Okay.
about that picture.
Sure.
That picture shows advertisement, but
Yeah.
I think somewhere in here you said that
Right.
for advertisement, the menu board sign shall not be used for advertisement.
Yeah. Well, to off-site views, and it did say for the sole purpose of
Oh, to
conveying
off-site
menu.
views. Okay, that
But it
makes
does
sense.
say for the sole purpose of conveying menu information. So I don't know if this is typical to have Intel advertisement on it or not, but we could ask.
You want to come on up, sir?
Sure. Chair.
Could you please just state your name and address for the record?
Sure. Mr. Chairman, members of the Planning Board, my name is Kenneth Haywood. I'm an attorney here on behalf of McDonald's Corporation. My address is 5410 Trinity Road in Raleigh. I appreciate you allowing me the opportunity to address this tonight and realize that I'm the only item on your agenda. Having served on volunteer boards similar to this in Raleigh, I greatly appreciate you coming out tonight and giving us a few minutes for this text change. A little bit of background to sort of understand how we got to where we are today. McDonald's has been updating and unifying their menu reader boards across the entire country. One of the goals of that is, as society now is wanting things to become quicker and quicker, for good or bad, when they go through a drive-through lane now, people like to be able to get through the drive-through lane quicker. From an environmental standpoint, it's nice to be able to get people through the drive-through lane and off the parking lot as quickly as we can. So in doing that, they have been updating their menu reader boards to be able to make them electronic, easier for people to read, and then also easier of the operator to be able to change the menu as specials come on. We have the McRib for the winter, whatever it may be, and they're able to update that electronically, which right now we're not able to do in Currituck County. There's a location McDonald's has in Grandy, which is what precipitated our conversations with staff, and I would like to mention that Jason has been very helpful and is always very nice to work with in this particular situation. And so because of that, the company that had applied for a sign permit was told that their ordinance would not allow 100% of the menu board to be electronically controlled. And so staff recommended that we come through with a text change to get us where we are tonight, to be able to have that allowed under your ordinance. I think it's fitting, as somebody who's born and raised in North Carolina, that Currituck County is one of the oldest counties in the entire country. And I understand that this is the last county that has yet to approve a sign permit for a new electronic menu board. And so we've been able to get this through the whole country, so hopefully we can get this across the finish line with you tonight and then with the Board of Commissioners. What you see here in this particular picture, and then I'll address a little bit in terms of that, is there's typically in a drive-through lane a full menu board which will tell you what the menu's items are that you could order, just like if you walked in the restaurant. That is what you see underneath what I'll call yellow canopy, where you see the menu. Before that, sometimes in a drive-through lane there will be what we call a pre-browser board. It's not for advertising. It is to be able to tell you if there's specials that you may want to be aware of, or other items that are not part of the full menu, but just something that the restaurant is offering to you. Like I said, normally would it be specials or a select part of the menu. And so I don't know where this was taken, and I'm certainly do not want to represent to the planning board the purpose of the pre-browser board is any type of advertising, because that is not what the purpose of it is. It is for the display of menu items for the public to be able to order from when it gets to the ordering point. And so staff has done an excellent job. We've tried to provide to staff a suggested text change, and staff has, in their wisdom, looked at it and said, well, let's make it so that it's more uniform with what we have with our current ordinance. We fully support what staff has written here and would ask for its adoption as the staff has written, with the addition of what was added tonight in terms of the size. And I thought that would really be the benefit of everyone. This particular text change is not necessarily just for McDonald's. It would be for any fast casual restaurant in Currituck County. So this is not in any way limited to one particular restaurant chain. This would be for anyone that could use this menu board. I was in Pitt County, Greenville, a couple months ago. Same type of situation as what we're doing tonight. We had a text change with there as well. So it's not uncommon that we're having to go through some text changes, just because technology has improved to the point that we're able to display things now on an electronic basis versus going out there and changing letters and numbers on the signs, which is used to be the old-fashioned way. But I'm glad to answer any questions about this. Like I've said, staff has put forth to you their recommendations with their asking. They're saying that there's it's fine with them. It's fine with with my client as well. But I'm happy to answer any questions.
Anyone have any questions? No, I think we're good.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
If anything comes up during the course of the hearing tonight, happy to stand back up to the podium.
All right. I don't see anybody else here for public comment. So we'll open and close that. Is there anything else anybody else has? Any other questions for Jason or this gentleman? Nope. Jason, what page is the consistency stuff that you actually want? Just the general consistency statement work, or do you have a special one?
Page 16.
Yeah.
Page 14?
It's 16
The one on 16.
at the bottom of under item 3. The requested text amendment is consistent, and so on.
Mm-hmm.
And then under the land use plan policy ED1, it says the request is reasonable and in the public interest.
All right. And include your
Yeah, the
1
stats-
through
staff
4 on
amendments.
page 15.
Yep.
Okay. All right, well, if there's no other discussion, I will open the floor for a motion.
I'll motion to approve.
We have a motion. Well,
Okay, so you want me to read that? I motion to approve the land use consistency. The UDO requires that the board commissioners, no,
just the next one.
this one, text amendment is consistent with the goals and objectives and policies of the 2006 land use plan, including policy ED1. New and expanding industries and businesses should be especially encouraged that 1, diversity of the local economy, 2, train and utilize more highly skilled labor force, and 3, are compatible with the environmental quality and natural amenity based on economy of Currituck. The request is reasonable and in the public interest because restaurants with drive-through lanes are an allowable use in the general business district, and the additional of additional menu boards is a reasonable request since this technology is typical for new and upgraded restaurants. Menu boards, do I need to read that? Menu boards shall comply with the following standards. Up to 100% of the menu board signs area can be electronically controlled. Menu board sign shall be associated with an approved drive-through lane. Menu board sign shall not be used for additional advertisement to off-site views and shall be for the sole purpose of conveying menu information to patrons in a drive-through lane.
And the number 4 that you added.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, it's not on ours.
Yep.
Okay.
What, 60
Mess-
feet maximum?
Okay. Menu board signs shall comply with the following standards. Up to 100% of the menu board sign area can be electronically controlled. Menu board signs shall be associated with the approved drive-through lane. Menu board signs shall not be used for additional advertisement to off-site view and shall be for the sole purpose of conveying menu information to patrons in a drive-through lane. Menu board signs shall have a maximum area of 60 square feet per sign and a maximum height of 8 feet.
You got them all.
Okay. I
That's it. Good deal.
Did we have to do something, I'm sorry, with chapter 10 also, the,
Yeah.
There
Yes.
is?
It would
We missed
suffice
one?
just to say that you're approving the staff amendments
All right.
we approve
to
staff
the
amendments.
applications. And make sure you say the case number when you, in the motion.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm new to this here. Our case number. What is our case number?
PB,
PB 20-01. Is that what you're looking for?
Yes.
McDonald's Corporation?
Okay, and this is subject to PB 20-01, McDonald's Corporation menu board signs.
Chapter 5 and Chapter 10. And then
Yes.
all the recommendations she read and,
And
I think
staff
that was it.
recommendations.
yep.
okay, we have a motion.
I'll second.
Who wants to get it? We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Congratulations. You're one step closer. All right, well, that's all we got. So, does anybody have any announcements you'd like to make, or? I can't think of anything. So, open for a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn. I don't know if we need a second or whatever.
Second,
but
second, second, second.
Adjourned.
Got 6 seconds.